So in light of this video, I've been thinking, is these revision videos the niche of Clever Cracker?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
This could be like our living interaction.
Yeah.
And non-living. Hi. The electricity stuff.
Yeah, like the YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, let's do the video and see. No, let's do the video because I see that problem.
Yeah.
I see it. Yeah.
Okay, I see it too. So, niche is one of the words you're going to have to know how to describe, and it is basically how an organism interacts with its habitat.
Yeah. So to define it, it's the role of an organism within its habitat.
There. And this fits into two parts, really.
The non-living bits.
Say it's breathing, someone won't photosynthesize, whatever, and then it's living bits.
So stuff that it actually does. You know, things feeding on it, stuff like that. Things about living.
So, for an example,
we have a mushroom.
Yeah. I'm going to call it Jimmy.
I'm going to draw it really big so it doesn't look like something else.
Yep, that is a lovely mushroom.
What is its niche? What is its roles within a habitat? So there's a really big one, say in the Amazon.
Okay,
So it's pretty high off the ground.
So if you've got living, stuff can hide under it.
Yep, so
Shelter.
it provides shelter for things under here, normally insects and stuff. It also provides food for certain animals.
Yeah.
I wouldn't eat it.
I won't eat it, but maybe camouflage?
Yeah, moths and stuff and certain insects might land on here and it might be really good camouflage.
Yeah, and then non-living, maybe it photosynthesizes mushrooms too.
Absolutely, so it does. It takes in CO2.
Yeah.
So if you drive your car through the Amazon, it doesn't kill everything.
Yeah, so that's good old mushroom helping there.
If we had a little blue mushroom, it's slightly smaller, it's got a slightly different pattern. It's got almost the identical niches. It also provides camouflage, probably food and shelter, but it's slightly different.
Yeah, so maybe for different animals eat it, different shelter for different things.
Yeah, and a different colour, so different camouflage.
So these ones aren't in competition.
They're not. Despite having what you would describe as being the same niches, they're slightly different niches. But then suddenly another red mushroom comes along about equal size, weight and height.
Oh dear, oh no.
So now these do have identical niches.
Yeah, niches. But which one, they're basically going in competition, and only one will survive and take over the habitat.
Absolutely.
And which one is decided by the different adaptations it has.
It is so, in no particular order. We'll go behavioural first.
Alright, this is one of the adaptations that they have.
Yep, so it's split into three categories, this is. So behavioural, I think that's how you spell it.
No, I don't either.
Behavioural.
Yeah, have there.
Yeah, like it. So behavioural, physiological, and then anatomical. And these are better described with animals than fungi, to be honest.
Yeah.
But these three things will change between these two as they evolve over time. They'll become slightly better, they'll have slightly distinctive physiological, anatomical and behavioural things.
Yeah. So think about maybe an animal is better to talk about, it's maybe a hedgehog.
Yeah,
say.
a hedgehog.
So behavioural, it's nocturnal.
It is, yeah. It also hibernates for most of the year, or most of the year, half of the year.
Yeah, in winter, doesn't go out. And this will be also a physiological thing it has, because its metabolism can slow right down.
Absolutely, so.
Something happens inside, so it's important to know what these things are.
Yes, so behavioural is sort of the way it acts.
What it does, yeah.
Yeah, sort of thing. Physiological is sort of the chemical stuff going on inside, or the internal stuff, I guess you could sum it up as.
Yeah, so metabolism and stuff. And then anatomical.
It's what it looks like, its
Yeah.
outer structure. So for hedgehogs, it's basically got spikes.
Yeah, that's for protection, so that's
It's got
pretty
claws as well, some sort of claws.
good. Yeah,
I haven't
this will,
felt the claws, but I think they're pretty good at gripping things.
yeah, and this will help it in its habitat to do stuff.
So let's see if we are a different species.
Okay.
So, behavioural acts.
Right.
Well, we act.
Stupid.
That's good.
Yeah, and that does comedic effects. It's got
Comedic
a purpose.
effect, it's got a purpose.
In our habitat, which is the studio, obviously,
Physiological is the internal stuff.
we have a really, really high metabolism.
For favourite chicken.
Yeah, that's important.
And that means that the brand can keep going on so no one becomes bankrupt. So we're supporting them. It's like things eating
supporting.
this to not die out. We're making sure favourite chicken doesn't go down the drain like Woolworths.
Yeah, that we're helping them there. And then anatomical.
You have long hair.
I do. I mean, what's that for? When you make a really good rock band, we'll succeed because long hair is good for rock bands.
Absolutely. So it's got a purpose.
Oh, okay. So are we a different species?
We are a different species.
Oh, wow.
Well done, Alice.
So we become different over time.
And this is evolution, which you're probably familiar with.
Yep. Good old Charles Darwin.
Yep.
You know that. And it's now quite widely accepted because you can sort of see it happening.
My pen is really difficult to rub off. Carry on talking a minute.
Oh, okay. So we can think about it in like moths and stuff.
You can. So to start off with, two moths might have been pretty much in competition. Sort of, they're pretty similar. They feed on similar things. So what happens? Do they either one of them could die out, or they can both adapt?
So you know that evolution is basically the survival of the fittest. So one could die out completely, but it might just go different ways.
They might. So if we've got two identical. I'm going to draw them like this.
All right. So that's moth one. That's going to be Bobby Jim, and the other one can be Jimmy Bob. Maybe A and B is a bit easier to think about.
Maybe it is. So I'll call it A and B. So they both feed on the same thing. They both look the same. They've got the same camouflage. They're both going to be eaten by the same thing.
Yeah.
So they're in competition for the food that they eat, for finding the camouflage so that they don't get eaten, nesting things, stuff like that.
Yeah. So one might decide, yes, it's a good idea to hide in a cave, so.
Yeah. So this one suddenly hides in darker things. Its camouflage over time is going to slightly change. One of them might have a slightly darker colour of wings, and that one will be advantageous because the ones with lighter wings will be eaten. And then eventually, the ones in the cave,
will be really
I'm going to continue to draw them black because they're going to be really dark.
And so this one likes hiding in the trees and maybe eating different things now, like berries or whatever. So this one will be blending in the trees, so say green and brown or whatever.
Eventually its camouflage will also change into lighter colours, eventually becoming greeny colours, or perhaps even fruity colours if it hides with the berries.
Yeah, and as these things changing, they change far enough away to actually become separate species.
Yes, they'll have different behaviours, and it's even better with stuff like bats that go into caves, because then they have different mating calls as well, which is a huge difference.
So eventually we'll become a different species because we're so different in every single way.
Absolutely. So, I don't know if that's better or worse, but
I'm not sure.
We'll leave the fans to decide that.
Yeah.
So that's evolution, you're familiar with that, and this altogether has been sort of the adaptation and evolution.
Yeah.
Some new words there, I guess, the anatomical, physiological.
You have to be able to define them essentially, but
niche is a new definition that comes up.
Often that's quite a lot of marks, 4 or 5.
Yeah. Often it doesn't just say define niche, it says define niche and explain some of the roles.
Yeah, so say what is the niche of this animal in its habitat.
Absolutely.
Say a hedgehog.
Yeah. So just looking at what they do. That's this video in a nutshell. We'll see you at the next one. I'm gonna write a paper on what it's like to be another species.